forward is really exciting for me. It's something I think I'm actually very good at, but haven't had a lot of opportunity to actually focus doing. Going forward, I also am looking forward to spending more time in Chicago and more time at home with my children in the evenings. I'm excited about spending more time in Chicago, getting to know the community more and the community I live in, and also being able to spend more time. I'm really excited about spending more time in Chicago and also being able to spend more time with my children. I'm looking forward to spending more time in Chicago, hopefully spending more time with my children as well.
Can you talk to you guys about pausing? I've been asked to focus on pausing because I continue to use some of the fillers, especially the filler called and. I tried my best. When I was going through the online process, I practiced for 1 year. I did phenomenally well when I presented to the technology leadership. They even walked out of the room and told me about it. But I think I'm back into the same flow that I was comfortable with. I continue to use some of these fillers as and when it helps me. Sometimes when I come to trainings like this, that's when I realize I need to stop using it.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to talk to you about one of my other passions, which is travel. Growing up, my father had a transferable job. As a result of that, I traveled with him and lived in various countries. We were 4 years in Saudi Arabia, Jeddah and Riyadh. We lived in the UK for 4 years. And I was also fortunate to travel to South Korea. Outside of that, I've also had the pleasure of traveling to other countries. Traveled quite a bit in Europe, to Canada as well. If you have not been there, I would strongly recommend going to British Columbia, Vancouver, Victoria. It is probably one of the most...
Well, I'll follow on what Vic just did and talk a little bit about my journeys in life. All right, so I'm going to follow on to what Vic just did and talk a little bit about my journeys in life and where I traveled as a kid. And they weren't places as cool as Saudi Arabia or the UK. Started life in Biddeford, Maine, moved to central Massachusetts. When I was a teenager, moved to Pittsburgh. Moved to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania as a teenager and lived there for about 20 years. Then got a chance to continue moving to garden spots like Cleveland, Ohio for 6 years, and now to Cincinnati, Ohio for 7 years. So I've had a chance to see a lot of. I've had a chance to have a tour of the Rust Belt over the last 20 years, 30 years. I live in Cincinnati, Ohio.
This is really all about making small changes to become more influential. At the base of the progression are the things we're having you try: posture and pausing. They progress to other behaviors: expressions, gestures, movement, volume, and inflection. And above that, all of those perceptions we brainstormed on this morning lay at the top of the progression. So it starts with something that seems small. It creates something that leads to the perceptions exactly what you want to create. This is why it's so important to make yourself uncomfortable, practice the skills, try them on for size, and start incorporating them right away into your everyday life. eventually, you will have the habits that are in place that allow you to be more influential through your communications. Seeing the difference on the playbacks? Small changes make a really, really big difference. Thank you for all of your work this morning. Let's have some lunch. We'll break for about 15 minutes just to get food and get settled, and then Megan will start with her piece this afternoon at about, it's straight up noon right now. We'll meet back at 12:15. Megan will get started. Okay.